Welcome to Gloves Up Boxing. So Premier Boxing Champions, aka the PBC, have announced their up and coming schedule going from May the 15th to September the 11th. 9 fights, more or less running every other week. It starts on May the 15th, with Luis Nery versus Brandon Figueroa for the WBC Super Bantamweight World Title. This isn't a bad fight. It's be a good fun fight. Luis Nery and Figueroa are both sort of come forward aggressive fighters. I do think Luis Nery will come out on top of that one. So then on to May 29th, we've got Nordine Ubali versus Nonito Donaire. I'm really looking forward to this one. This is one of the better fights that's been announced. I think it all depends on what sort of Donaire we get. If we get the Nonito Donaire that faced Inoue at the back end of 2019 in the World Boxing Super Series, Ubali's in all kind of trouble, and I would pick Donaire to win that. We then move on to June the 19th, and we have Jamal Charlo versus Juan Montiel. This fight is just not worth talking about. I have no interest in this fight. Jamal Charlo's just come off a good standout win at 160 that he's had against Devryanchenko. I mean, Montiel, he beat James Kirkland, but that Kirkland is a washed up version of himself. And Montiel actually lost to Jamie Munguia at 147 pounds. He got knocked out in 2 rounds. I just have no interest in this fight at all. It's a tune-up. It's a keep busy fight. But to be honest, I'm fed up of saying this about Jamal Charlo. The majority of his fights seem to be keep busy fights. We then move on to June the 26th, where we have Gervonta Tank Davis against Mario Barrios. I don't mind this fight. I think it's nice to see Tank in against someone that could actually pose him some different problems. We seem to have got used to him sort of cherry picking himself away around the super featherweight division, generally dragging guys up in weight. But Barrios is a tall, rangy fighter who, if he can keep Gervonta Davis on the end of that jab, could pick a lot of the rounds up, and by the time the fight gets going, Davis could find himself quite way behind in this fight, and then we're going to have to see what Davis can produce. I mean, will Barrios get a fair shake on the scorecards, with it being a PBC pay-per-view show? We don't know. There's a good undercard fight on that as well, of Erickson Lubin versus Jason Rosario. So we'll look forward to that one. I'll probably give a more of a rundown on the Lubin Rosario fight nearer the time. On July the 3rd, we have Chris Colbert versus Yuriokis Gamboa. Gamboa has been brought back out again to try and make another fighter look good. It seems to be for a young fighter to face Gamboa and go, right, beat him better than the previous guys did, beat him better than Haney did, beat him better than Tank did, so we can just up your profile and go, well, Colbert did this to him and Haney only did that. We then move on to July the 17th. For me, the standout fight of the 9-card schedule, of Jamel Charlo versus Brian Castano for the undisputed junior middleweight 154 pound titles, the WBC, WBO, WBA and IBF. It's an excellent fight. I'm going to do a preview on that fight on its own. I'll be looking forward to see what the undercard is to that fight, and it's nice that fight is actually just on regular Showtime. I'm hoping, as a UK boxing fan, that a network will pick that fight up. If not, then I'll be searching for a stream. So then we move on to August the 14th, and we have Guillermo Rigondeaux versus John Rael Casimero. That's for the WBO bantamweight world title. Rigondeaux's about 38 now. It's a good fight as well. What does Rigondeaux have left? I'm not quite sure. Casimero is a very aggressive, come forward fighter. Rigondeaux seems to have improved in time on the inside, mid to range. He's always been a great counter puncher. I do question Rigondeaux's legs at the moment. I actually going to pick Casimero to stop Rigondeaux, and then you will have hopefully have the winner of that fight against the winner of Ubali versus Nonito Donaire, which again would be a great fight. And then on August the 28th, we've got David Benavidez against Jose Utskagi. Murdered that name. For WBC super middleweight title eliminator. We know Benavidez has been 2 times world champion and lost it twice. One via a drugs ban, I think, or something to do with cocaine, and then the second time he lost it on the scales. That was actually in lockdown. I know they were blaming the sort of bubble and they couldn't lose the weight properly, but since then he has been back out and did make the weight very well. The fight in general is not very good at all. I mean, Utskagi has not done anything noteworthy in the last few years since losing his world title. Could they have got a better fight for Benavidez? There was talk of, I mean, Jamal Charlo called him out. Benavidez wanted that fight. Jamal Charlo quickly backtracked them words as if he'd never said them, as if Jamal Charlo just wants nothing to do with David Benavidez now. That would involve Jamal Charlo moving up to super middleweight. I'm not a fan of fighters moving up in weight and going straight into a big fight. I do prefer them to have sort of a taste of that division, or even maybe a catchweight. I actually think that maybe Daniel Jacobs at maybe 164, 165 for Jamal Charlo would have been a really good fight. So then moving on to the last fight of this 9 card schedule is Stephen Fulton versus the winner of the first fight, Luis Nery versus Brandon Figueroa. This would be a unification fight. Stephen Fulton holds a WBO title, I think, at super bantamweight. I like Stephen Fulton. He's an excellent fighter, and I would definitely pick him to beat Nery or Figueroa. So yeah, that's the 9 fight schedule. Also, we are going to be having at some point soon Fox announce their schedule for the PBC fighters. So the likes of Errol Spence and Caleb Plant. Will Sean Porter be on that, or will he be on the be announced on an ESPN card fighting Terence Crawford? We don't know, but I look forward to seeing what they've got to offer as well. We're expecting Errol Spence to fight Ugas in a unification fight. So yeah, if you like the video, hit like, hit subscribe, comment, positive, negative. I'll take anything. Cheers.